Hey there everybody, it's Alex here from VG247.com, and I've got a little bit of gameplay footage of Dragon Quest XI here. Obviously, this is Square Enix's other big RPG series, or Japanese RPG series, because of course in the West they do have Deus Ex, which is sort of an RPG too, but yes, in Japan there is Final Fantasy and there is Dragon Quest, one from Square, and this, of course, from Enix, and yeah, or Enix, depending on how you want to say it, and so, yeah, got a little bit of footage here. Now, heads up, first of all, I didn't actually go and play this. This footage is coming from Andy, who went and played the game. There's a link in the description to the glowing preview he wrote of the game. But I do have a bit of experience with Dragon Quest XI because I have played the Japanese release. So, yeah, so I know what the game's about. I've experienced it. But I thought it would be nice to sort of just actually give you a little bit of chatter over this footage rather than just present you with a bunch of raw gameplay. Also, I'm not sure if we would have been allowed to just present the gameplay without any chatter. So, chatter you're getting. So, obviously, this was a 3DS and PS4 game in Japan around about this time last year, maybe a little bit later. And now it's finally coming west on the PS4 and on PC. And it's also eventually going to get a Nintendo Switch version, they say, but that version has been announced for a very long time and we still don't know anything about it. This is a full port, though, for the West of the PS4 version. Got a lot of different things going on, but really the star of the show is probably the localization. It's actually got some great voice work going on, great translation going on, and yeah, I think Square seems to be putting a lot of love into this, whereas in the past, I mean, Dragon Quest games have always been treated with respect, because I think Square respect Dragon Quest as a series internally greatly, but compared to the work that would go into localizing Final Fantasy, for instance, Dragon Quest would always feel a little bit like an afterthought, because it wasn't a series that sold particularly well in the West, but after a couple of fairly successful outings on the DS and on the 3DS, in part thanks to, I think, Nintendo, who helped to market and publish those games, Square seemed like they're ready to trying to give Dragon Quest a bigger audience in the West a go again, and this is the result, a big AAA Japanese RPG for the PS4 and for the Western market for the PC, and that's particularly cool, because obviously not all Japanese games hit PC, so for the most Japanese RPG going, to get a PC release day and date with the PS4 release, that's on September 4th is the earliest release, that's pretty fabulous. So fair play to Square for that. I think, great looking art, but this is a really, really traditional Japanese RPG. I mean, you're going to see that in this footage. It's a very, very typical, traditional Japanese RPG, and you do have to go into this expecting and understanding that this is going to be a very traditionally styled game. So there's a lot of tactics, but this isn't an action game, It's... Andy says in his preview, it's easy to sound like you're disparaging or talking down these games when you say they're traditional and old school. Because what we are saying there is it resembles a great deal a game from the 80s. And it does. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. For many Dragon Quest fans, and Japanese RPG fans in general, this is exactly what they want. And rather than trying to make things flashy with active time battle or, sort of the strange turn-based sort of action that we ended up getting in Final Fantasy XIII, where it looked more like an action game but was turn-based underneath the hood, or straight up going full action like Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy XV, Dragon Quest is still focused on just being really good at what Dragon Quest has always done, which is that really traditional, really well-trodden Japanese RPG turn-based combat, kind of like Pokemon in that sense, actually, also, where that series has always remained very dedicated to the basics that were laid out at the start of the series. And indeed, without Dragon Quest, there would probably be no Pokemon. So that tells you, if you don't know Dragon Quest very well, that tells you the history of this series. There's also, mini games and stuff like that, lots of exploration on the field. There's a horse racing mini game. So, and all of this stuff is fairly simple and basically laid out, but there's plenty there for you to for you to get your teeth stuck into at the same time. And I think once you tot up the story and side quests and all that sort of stuff, you're looking at many, many hours of content. I think probably at least... I never finished the Japanese version. I decided to wait and play the Western version in the end. But I think you're looking at least, 50, 60, maybe 70, maybe more hours of content in Dragon Quest XI. So there's a lot of it. It looks gorgeous. And yeah, it's a really, really traditional Japanese RPG. I'm going to let a little bit more footage run, but I think you get the idea of exactly what this is. And I think at a glance, you already know if this is the sort of game that you're interested in, or if you'd rather wait for a more actiony RPG. Now, if that's the case, do check out our video, which has a hands-on with Kingdom Hearts 3. That series obviously is also due out this year, also from Square, but is a more actiony based sort of combat, but still wrapped in the other traditional Japanese RPG trappings. But if you like the look of Dragon Quest, I think it's really, really going to be a special entry in the series. Just have to go in knowing that it is old school, but I think everybody who loved those games back then still does love that style of game now. I certainly do. And although I love the way other games have tried to find new paths for Japanese role-playing games, I'm really glad that there's a really traditional, staunchly devoted one that just aims to take all those concepts and blow them up into gorgeous HD and try and do them justice on modern hardware. So yeah, that's Dragon Quest XI. I'll let some more footage here run for you. Don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe. All that stuff really helps. And stick with us because we'll have video from E3 and all sorts of stuff over the coming weeks. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Until next time, everyone. See ya.